This is Lindsey, my guest for the day. She is one of the most genius minds in marketing, in my opinion. Her and I have really worked together to do our very best to offer really creative solutions to the horse industry to make sure that we can help the people that we work with. So let's do this real quick. Why don't you tell us, Lindsey, about what you do, about hoof print marketing, and like from a practical business point, what do you do and who are your ideal target clients?
Very simply, I run Facebook and Google ads for businesses, specifically like my main niche is horse-based businesses, but I also work with, outside of the horse industry under my other alias, Rains Media. I can't really let go of hoof print marketing. That's the bucket for non-equine businesses. Like I told you, I did all the marketing. I started out as a blogger. Like I think when you screenshot my picture, I was a Pinterest marketer. I was doing all the things, right? I started out as a blogger, learned Pinterest to help my blog, sold my blog, did Pinterest marketing for other bloggers and then for other businesses. And then they wanted social media services, email marketing. I did marketing for the nonprofit I worked at the same time. And then it got to a point where I was like, I resonated the most with ads because then the clients could look at it and say, I put this much money in and I got this much money out. Like I really was attracted to that because I love numbers. The challenge of ads is that you are spending other people's money. It is very nerve-wracking on that end. I really have loved doing ads because you can use ads for a lot of things and it can be a really good complement to an organic marketing strategy. But just to paint a picture, I kind of put different ads clients, even within the horse industry, in different buckets. So you have the service providers like farriers or riding instructors or lesson barns, or, I would probably even put the events that we've like marketed in that category too, like just like stuff that's local or like tangible, right? And then you have the info, but in person, right? Which is people selling memberships, courses, coaching. I have a range of horse trainers who offer things from $21 all the way up to like $2,000. And then your other bucket is e-commerce. So people just selling directly from like their website. For the service-based businesses, a lot of it is lead generation and sales, like nurturing, using ads to nurture and sell into their info products. And then for e-commerce, it's all direct sales. And so they all sort of operate differently. But my favorite thing to do with clients is to use Google and Facebook together as a funnel, which is one of the unique things that hoof print marketing offers. Is we don't differentiate our retainer based on Google or Facebook. We differentiate our retainer based on ad spend. And so if you're spending over like 10 grand or whatever, like that's when we're like, okay, like there's more work going into this, like whether we're doing Google or Facebook. But when you use Google, which is like a search engine, people are searching for something, so they have high intent, but then you're using Facebook to go out and basically prospect and find people who might be interested, but they just don't know about you yet. It works really well together. So it kind of covers like all of the types of marketing bases.
It's been interesting to see where ads have come from and where Facebook and Instagram. What I found in the beginning, most of the people I would talk to, almost all of them would say ads scare me, or I tried them on my own and just wasted a bunch of money, or I hired someone and wasted a bunch more money. Most of the people that I talked to were extremely resistant to ads. I have, some questions from my audience and or some things that I've just experienced over the years as far as what people are asking me. Like you have those three categories, like they scare me, I tried it myself, or I had someone else try it and it's just been garbage. They've had really negative experiences. And so a lot of times when I'll send those people to you, now you have to overcome, you have to spend all this time kind of overcoming all these objections and thoughts and questions. One thing I wanted to do is just give you an opportunity to just share with us a little bit about maybe your process or thoughts you have, because someone asked me like, well, if I'm doing a post a day on the social platforms, do I really even need to do ads? I have an answer to that, but I'll just kind of let you get started. That was a good, I think, launching point to kind of those objections. How do you deal with those? All of those objections, by the way, are valid. And Lindsey, and I hear you. If you're watching this and you're like, Jamie, I'm definitely one of those. That's okay. We understand that. But we do ask that you take a minute and listen to Lindsey's response. If you have been contemplating running ads, we are the lowest pressure sales people on the planet. Like if you think you're ready for ads and you call and talk talk to Lindsey and she knows you're not ready, she's going to tell you.
Yeah.
Like, she's going to be like, you're not really ready right now. Like, I can hear it, but here's some homework. Why don't you do these few things? Let's do these things. And then let's revisit this in 90 days. Let me have Lindsey address some of those things so that we can help you where you're at. And then, of course, as always, you can chat with her directly offline. Go ahead and jump into maybe some or one or all of those objections.
Well, the first objection, like you were saying, I'm just scared to run ads. Like you said, that's completely valid, because on top of paying an ads manager, and if you're not planning on DIYing it, then you're literally setting a budget for Facebook to just spend for you. And I think that we're in a really unique age of where the barrier to entry to run a business is really low, kind of like an unprecedented low cost to advertise. And so I think that from a mindset perspective, you have to understand that previous to Facebook ads, Google ads, and whatever, like hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars to get visibility. And that visibility, like in TV or newspapers or whatever, it was a very broad subset of visibility. And there was a lot more labor involved in getting new customers. So especially like if you're in a like higher ticket, like sales environment, like there was oftentimes like a sales team who would just go and take time and build relationships with people. It's valid to be scared because you're literally going and telling Facebook to spend your money. And if you don't have a plan, then you're probably not going to get much for it, honestly. Like there are some people who have a real good intuition, and these are always the business owners who know their audience super well and have had to DIY other marketing things before. Sometimes those business owners do just fine. Like they take maybe a Facebook course, or maybe they just, watch a few YouTube videos, but that's the exception. That's not the rule. Because here's the thing, the platforms too are set up to make it easy to do really low effort ads. Like basically like put your money in, we'll do with that advertising budget what we want. We'll do, like Facebook's doing the targeting, Google's doing the targeting, and you have no visibility on the results except for you get a phone call from it or something, or you get like a new sale and you think it came from that, but you don't know because like you didn't set up like a proper ad campaign. But just being scared to do ads in general is totally valid. And I think that you need to be at a point in your business. It's similar to investing in a coach. You have to be at a point in your business where either you're seeding that it's a growth technique. You need to set aside a budget and say, hey, I'm ready to light this money on fire for now, in the hopes that it's going to give me a return later. And if you think about it, that's what we do with a lot of stuff. You go and sponsor a horse event. I've known a lot of people who have gone and sponsored a horse event and gotten zero leads. They've gotten like zero measurable brand like recognition from it. Like the benefit of ads is that you're going to, if you set it up correctly, or if you have an ads manager set it up correctly, you are going to get feedback. Even if it's not going to get you an immediate result, ads are always going to, when set up correctly, give you feedback about at least what doesn't work so that you can rule out a bunch of stuff.
You mentioned a lot of things that are incredibly helpful. And the one thing that I love the most that I tell people about things like email marketing, when you can measure what you're spending and like you said, even if we find out what doesn't work, okay, I have sent emails on days and times, like I was like, that was dumb, it didn't work. But it wasn't dumb because now I have data that tells me it didn't work. So now what do we, or the target, or maybe, if the customer isn't that dialed in yet on who their audience is, and we're trying to help them narrow that down. And the other thing is, from my experience, I have tried to boost my own posts. I'm a pretty fairly intelligent individual when it comes to things that are common sense, business related, things that make sense. I don't want to even try to understand what goes on the back end of Facebook. Like Lindsey actually does my ads too, because I don't have that brain to take the data and then know, like, did it even work? I don't know. Like, I can maybe measure and be like, okay, I got 7 discovery calls, and deduce from there. I just want to cut in and say it's so important because so many of us, for example, I was just at Quarter Horse Congress. How many people spent hundreds and hundreds of dollars putting an ad in, beautiful ads, by the way, but nothing in the ad is capturing, all it is just a flash in the pan. There's no QR code, there's no nothing trying to get at these people's information and know if I spent $2,500 on a full 2-page color ad for my breeding facility and I have a top quarter horse stud that I'm standing, how do I know how many people saw it? I might know the impressions, which now I'm getting super technical, but I'm just saying with Facebook ads, when I run ads to Lindsay, she can be like, okay, here's the exact stats, here's what's working, here's not, here's where we need to put more money.
It's like any other investment in your business. It is a growth mechanism, and it's actually a lot more tangible, like you were saying. It's a lot more tangible and measurable than other growth mechanisms. For example, another growth mechanism would be hiring a business strategist to help you get to the next level in your business. That's usually costs a lot more. Sometimes you can get a more affordable hybrid coaching package like what you have. But in order to get to the next level, you have to set aside some funds in your business to be able to test that. And I would say for a few months. And so if you're saying there's no way that I can do that right now, totally valid. At some point, it's probably going to be necessary for you if you want to scale past what you can do within your referral network, with your organic social media marketing. I've seen people do it a lot of different ways. Some business owners have started on their own, gotten a little bit of success, or maybe they got like a budget, and then, we can take it and improve it. And then I've seen people use previous businesses to seed their new business. And a lot of times these people are more experienced. Like we have a client now who's like more experienced in building a business. And so they know, okay, I need this, 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 and this. And I'm just going to compress the growth of my business from like a few years timeline, DIYing it or layering in different marketing strategies. I feel confident in this, so I'm going to use the seed money from this other business to compress the timeline and do all of the right things right now. So that's like kind of the unicorn situation. But a lot of times the most practical is like get your business, know your numbers really, really well. And I don't just mean like know how much money is coming in and out and your profit and loss and all that. Which traffic sources are getting you the most sales? You might be getting a lot of traffic from Pinterest, or you might be getting a lot of traffic from Facebook posts. You might be having a lot of viral posts on Instagram or TikTok, but if you're not in touch with what traffic sources are actually leading to sales, you might actually find that like just posting and connecting in Facebook groups is getting you the most sales. Maybe it's just like responding to posts on Facebook or whatever. But my point being is like you need to have some sort of like understanding of like where the majority of your business is coming from and what that's costing you. Is it costing you a social media manager? Is it costing you 15 hours of your time a week? At some point you have to be able to set aside some money to start passively scaling your business without having to put in more effort or more like unknown expenses. Putting in more, sponsoring more shows or posting more viral stuff that's actually like not resulting in more sales. Is just being able to invest in 3 months of Facebook ad management and then kind of understanding that that's going to set you up a good foundation for being able to passively scale your business going forward in a sustainable way that's not going to tax you. If you think about it, a lot of businesses get to a certain point by doing all the legwork themselves. The owner is doing all the legwork themselves, and that's not scalable. You're going to have to build a team. You're going to have to hire people who are specialists in different things. And ultimately you want to be spending 80% of your time just doing what you're best at, which is product development, getting better at your craft, and or sales.
If you're just watching this and you're like 3 months in your business and you're just a baby business and you're like, this is really overwhelming, it's maybe just not your time yet. It's okay. Yeah. Just make a plan. You need to know what you're really good at. And honestly, the one thing we find, so many people specifically in the horse industry are absolute geniuses at their craft. Okay. Whether you're a massage therapist, a horse trainer, you've developed a horse supplement line, you guys are awesome at what you do. But we have found when we reverse engineer the process of your marketing and your customer journey, it's not good. That's just some tough love truth. It's not good.